Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Everything That I Know podcast. I'm your host, Jamey Whitley, here to talk to the man, the myth, the legend, who knows everything and more and continuously learns more every single day, every single second, even when his phone is on silent. The man, Senior Verde X.
I guess we can't use 10X. Senior Verde 10X.
That's Grant Cardone.
Right. That was... I know a little bit.
That was a good... I haven't read that one yet. That's on my next list.
I don't have time.
Well, see, I do Audible. When I'm doing cardio now, I do Audible. When I'm going on a long drive, I do Audible. I don't listen. So here's... You're going to be really proud of me. You know what you've done to me? You've made me a monster.
Like on your shirt.
No, this is the undefeated hide-and-seek champion.
I love that shirt.
Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
Is that from Brands and Threads?
No, this is actually from Hochatown and Broken Bow.
That's a kick-ass shirt.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
so
I love it.
I'm undefeated hide-and-seek champion. You know what you've done to me?
Is this going to go well for me?
Probably.
Okay,
I think
good.
you'll be proud of me.
Go on. Do your thing. What do we got?
Well, since, we're in the year of adaptation, of resilience. So, yeah. Yeah.
And
you serve Pete resilience. I don't know.
Serve repeat resilience.
They're at the give sign. So,
yeah.
But, your entities continue to grow so much.
Got your text just now.
Oh, good.
Thanks, bro.
Your entities continue to grow so much they've spilled over into the 88 Realty office that was brand new, so 88 Realty could have an office. Yeah. And so I've now made it really comfortable to work from home. Nice. No, there's no separation of work and play anymore. It's all work. If I'm home alone, like if Nikki doesn't come over and I'm home by myself, I don't turn the TV on anymore.
Good.
I have no desire to sit down and binge watch a show.
Perfect.
I'm sitting at my computer going, who do I need to call tomorrow?
Yes.
Or I'm trying to look up comps or look at new properties.
Perfect.
So the only problem is...
Exactly what you should be doing.
No, exactly. It is. But now it's almost like if I get to a point I want to stop working, I can't go do the fun stuff because then I feel like I'm obligated. So now I just sit on my bed and I get depressed and I scroll through Facebook.
Yeah, that's bad. Let's go back to the part to where you're not turning the TV on and you're doing all this other work, quote unquote work. Is there any enjoyment whatsoever inside this scrolling MLS and looking up properties and looking for comps?
Oh, yeah, because it's making me better.
It's not just making you better, but it's activating and learning those skills and adapting inside those platforms, working through all the mechanics of what that looks like, learning shortcuts and doing this and pulling down data. And I didn't know that. And right. So if there's any enjoyment in what you're doing, are you really working?
No, I'm really not.
You're not.
No.
You're
that's the thing.
Growing into this space of execution and activation to where when somebody goes, hey, I was looking for you. I saw that last night. Let me call on that. I got that. I got you. Right. You're just all in all the time. Yeah. Now, you do need to be able to turn it off and have fun and have a drink and stuff like that. But not in front of the television, really. Right. In my opinion. Right. I think go out with your boys, have a beer, go home, go to the movie night with your girl. All that kind of stuff is probably a better release than just mind-numbing, Yeah. But that's super exciting that you're getting into that's kind of part of your craft.
Well, it's like I think now I'm hitting my stride finally. And it's like we've talked a lot about season 1 and season 2, I guess is how we can call it.
Yeah. I think we've had like 6 seasons already.
I know, but...
Season 12.6.
But like pre-real estate...
Yeah.
I made pretty good money.
Yeah.
And now I am...
Did you?
Well, really? I made decent money, but I was comfortable.
Yeah.
I had money to go and I could go out to eat every night if I wanted to. Right. Do I do that now? No. But I have more savings than I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Watch it grow.
I know. That's what I'm excited for. And so... that's what's really cool, but also I'm like, I just want to kick my old self in the ass. And
you are.
And because I see where if I had done that then and really saved money then, I could buy investment properties right now and not have to wait till year 3.
Damn right.
So it's really cool to see how that has where I was and where I am now. But at the same time, it's also one of those things where if you're unhappy in your job, get happy and do what you love. And honestly, I can finally say the first time, take the damn risk, jump out of the plane, and end up at base camp.
Base camp?
We just came full circle.
We did. At the Power Base Camp. You should have said Power Base Camp.
By the power of Grayskull Base Camp.
Anyway, so a couple other things came out of that, which is some interesting stuff that popped in my head when you were going through that storyline. One, you're in it. You're mastering the systems in which you have to activate in order to gain the information, to win the deal, to represent, and to execute, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're learning those systems. What's going to happen is your base, hello, can you go, is going to grow, and you're going to get to the point to where you need what?
Extra.
A companion.
People. Exactly.
A person.
A team.
And you're not going to want someone that's seasoned and has set in their ways and does their own thing. You're going to want to bring some young man, young lady in and be like, hey, I need help. You got a good network. I think, you'd be great working under me. Not my teammate. This is not you're building a team. You're not,
right.
This is not a partner thing. Come in, I'll teach you the ropes.
Right.
Then you're like, information, teaching him or her the ropes, right?
Right.
And they have all the nuances and things that you've crafted and built and brought into your execution. They tap into it immediately, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like when I bring somebody into this organization and play a certain role, I've already either mastered that role or have a good idea of how we need that role to be fulfilled, and we funnel it down to where it's not overly complicated. There might be some tertiary things that they do outside of that, to help the office run. But for the most part, they have 2 or 3 or 4 things they're supposed to do all the time and do it well and do it. And it's a part of who they are.
Right.
We don't hire an accounting team member to do graphic design.
Right.
We don't hire a graphic designer to do accounting.
Right.
We might get the graphic designer to do a little web, make some email addresses and do some other stuff. Right. But pretty much he or she is in her lane. So when you bring somebody in, and you'll get to that point, you'll bring somebody in, you'll be able to teach them things that will allow them to execute faster. And just like, have you ever seen Beckham, David Beckham?
Yeah.
They used to say, bend it like Beckham. He'd shoot that shot and it would just do like that. Mm-hmm. What you're doing is you're allowing that person to, instead of going through the crowd and the nonsense of information to get to the end result, you're bending it like Beckham and taking them around that shit so that they can just execute.
Right.
Because you're learning all that stuff now.
Right.
And so pour yourself into what you're doing with that mindset. I'm learning this for me, but I'm going to be teaching this someday.
Right.
So I have to know.
So what I'm doing right now is for my team.
It's for your team.
It's
for your empire. It's for everything that you want to do. Right. Every move that you make is tied to who you want to be.
Yeah.
And who you want to bring along in order to get to where you want to be.
Right.
Can't do it alone. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff independently, but even smart, singular entrepreneurs have great attorneys and great CPAs.
Yeah.
They're not doing that shit, but they're not doing all the legal work and all the accounting and calling the people and doing the sales and doing production. They're just not.
Right.
So those are extended teams. What you're going to do is you're going to build an internal team and bring people along and give and grow people into where you are coming up under me and Derek and other guys inside here. You're coming up, and that's the point.
Right.
And so it just perpetuates itself down line. So if you'll own the fact that all the information that you're pouring into yourself and all the little nuances and things you're learning are not only for you, but they're for your future team, dude, you're going to kill it because then you're going to be more impassioned to go do it.
Right.
It's more time, 30 more minutes. I'll quit at 11,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not married yet, right? Not married currently, and you have no children. So all you have is time.
Right.
Like, why not work 20 hours a day and sleep for 4 and then crash on the weekends or crash on Monday or something,
Right.
And learn and look for all those tricks and read tons of books and everything. So that's you just got me all like excited about that.
It's kind of been a good thing because I see that I'm seeing the fruition I'm seeing the fruits of my labor.
Yeah,
starting to grow of what I started back in beginning of this year.
Have you recognized that there's another fruit we talked about in the last podcast about you and your anxiety? you're executing at a higher level. You have more savings. You have more security. You have more execution than you've ever had.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're coming off of this stuff possibly and ratcheting back the additives to make you feel better. You're making yourself feel better.
Yeah, I actually
not to mention, I mean, some of that no doubt is medical, the way you're wired, whatever, and you may come up and down, in and out of it. But the point is, there's nothing to be like anxious or sad about, other than maybe some deals.
Yeah,
but you're crushing it.
Yeah, actually,
when you're crushing it, you're like Cam Newton. Remember when Cam Newton used to that Superman pull? That's what you're doing. You're just breaking out.
Yeah, and on top of that, I just added on ADHD medicine.
You added that, but listen, that's a little bit different from anxiety. That's a mind control like environment thing. I have a kid that deals with that.
Yeah,
and I completely understand that. So again, we've talked about it. If science is there for a reason, man. If they got something to make you better and execute higher and not do things, you should jump on it. But the point was that you were in that locked in spot where you weren't really growing or doing anything, but you were comfortable and you weren't really saving money, but you kind of had financial freedom, but it really wasn't anything to speak of.
Right.
Now you're in a different place. You're working harder. You're doing different things. You're making more money. Your mind's in a better place. Your spirit's in a better place. And
because I'm happy because I have time, I have flexibility.
Yeah.
And and helping people and serving people is what I love.
Yeah. So, that's an interesting point. Helping people, serving people, just giving of yourself and your time. But it's funny because when you're locked into an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever job, when you're locked into some schedule, it's difficult to find the extra time to do those things that, we all want to do. Innately, we want to help. But we're just like, oh, I'm tired, or oh, it's been a long day, or oh, my kids or my family, or this. But when you have the flexibility of a career that has the flexibility, you don't stay in that mindset of, well, I've worked 12 hours today, and now I've shown all day long. I just don't think I can go to the food bank and volunteer.
Right.
You don't do that. You're like, I showed houses all day today for 12 hours, and I'm going to the damn food bank to help for 2 more. Because I have flexibility, and you're more emboldened, right?
That, and also, I mean, I can work out in the afternoons rather than early mornings. Which I know that's different from you and I, but I mean, I'd rather work out in the afternoons. I get more. It's just kind of a time to take a break.
Yeah,
that's my lunch hour. Yeah. So, and then at the same time, like this coming Monday, I'm gonna have the whole afternoon on Monday to essentially do an acting showcase.
Wow,
that I couldn't do at 8 to 5. And this is in front of casting directors and managers that are all based in LA.
Yeah.
So, I have the freedom to do those things because I decided, you know what, I'm going to love what I do and just be flexible and take in a sense of entrepreneurship. And I think that was a big key. Yeah. But I want to take us back to Power Base. I mean, the base camp. So let's go back to base camp.
Base camp.
All right. So we're talking about serving people,
which is about halfway up the mountain, by the way. If you're talking about mountain climbing, in context, base camp's not down here in the valley.
What do you call that?
The valley.
Okay.
Where you land the plane and get off the plane. Like, base camp's already a shit ton up in the air where not a lot of people go. Like, I probably couldn't even make it to base camp.
So this is kind of like you get off here, you keep going up, there's no way down, but jumping.
Well, I guess sort of, but what I was saying is base camp, in the way that I'm thinking of the definition of a base camp, is it's not ground floor.
It's shit or pot time.
It's stage 2 to get to the top.
Yeah.
Or stage 3, depending on where that is. That's where you hunker down and you're like waiting on things, waiting on all the timing, waiting on the climate, waiting. And then the sky's clear and you go, all right, we got 48 hours. Go. Yeah. Ropes, axes, and you bounce, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. We're at base camp. You're not at the bottom of your career. You're halfway up the ladder of moving towards this next position, whatever that is. And you're making progress. So cool.
All right. So
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Not because I thought of it, but
right. It was, a spinoff of Grant Cardone. Okay. We're talking about having a heart to serve people. And I know it's part of our culture of 88 Realty. I think we believe if we serve people and we give them that extra mile, commission is going to take care of itself, And so I'm having a hard time, people in some of my sphere, when I say, hey, I'm here to help, I think they think I want the commission. I really just want to freaking help them. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is I've come across a situation where there's several people that are in my sphere.
Yeah.
That, for one, I wasn't in real estate when they bought their house, but they used an agent they liked. And now they feel loyal that they're selling their house now. They need to use the agent they bought the house from when I'm right here, So I'm trying to, and I haven't taken that personal, but now it's happening a lot. And I'm trying to think, how do I want to keep the friendship. I don't want them to know that I'm upset about it.
Yeah.
But do I just say, okay, cool. Hey, best of luck. The only thing I care about is you get taken care of.
No.
That's what matters.
That's not what you do.
What do you do?
You outwork the other guy. Have you provided them CMAs yet? Market information?
About to this weekend.
Yeah, everything you can pull out of everything you can pull out of the marketplace. Here's what the last 10 houses are comparable years sold for. Here's what these 10 are under contract for, pending right now in the system, or at least they're pending, and this was the rate. And here's what the next ones are. There's 30 comps right here I just provided you. And this is where I think you should be. Listen, I know I'm not your guy. Hey, I know I'm not your guy. Hey, I know I'm not the one you're going to sign up for, but I can't sleep at night not knowing y'all aren't being represented right. She's probably doing a great job, but I'm just going to slide in here. I'm here for you. Text them. Hey, I just saw this house down the street. Like, outwork the other guy without the paper. And if you get no commission, it's okay.
I've helped them either way.
You've helped them.
Right.
Which is the point.
Yeah.
Next time they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth when they see that other guy at the closing table, because they're going to be like, damn, he didn't do shit. Jamey worked his ass off.
You know what's really funny?
What?
The other agent's license is expired.
Oh my gosh. So you could play it a little yeah, I'm not going to condone that.
Yeah.
But
maybe that part's off record.
No, there's no off record. I mean, let's just put it like it is. You have an obligation to the public at large for them to be informed of anything in the marketplace, right? You have a fiduciary duty, not just to the client that signs on the paper.
Right.
You pledge to the state of Texas. Every citizen in the state of Texas, like, that's your pledge, right?
Yeah.
In whatever state else you hold your license in. So you have a fiduciary duty. So
that's
if you came across some information that was pertinent to the deal that they're about to do, you might want to say, hey, I wouldn't do it first.
Yeah.
But after you supply them all the data that you can supply them, and you get with them and you talk to them for 7 or 8 days, and you go, whoa, guys, I don't want to get in the middle of things, but I just thought you might want to know this.
Yeah.
Right? That's a fiduciary duty to the public at large.
Yeah.
You're not throwing that person under the bus. I mean, you kind of are with your actions, but you're not doing it intentionally. You're telling a citizen of the state of Texas, this person's license is expired.
Right.
You can keep using him, but just remind him he needs to get that done. It'd be fine. I don't want to remind him, but if you want to remind him or her to get that re-upped, it's important.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just slipped his mind. It happens all the time.
Right.
It's not a big deal. But I just thought you should know it. He technically can't represent you till he gets that going. So if that doesn't work out, let me know.
Right.
And you've already helped him, and now regardless of whether they think what their opinion of it is or not, they might be like, what? His what? Like, so, and I have no idea who this other party is. I'm giving you advice based on how I think you should outwork the other party in order to win the deal, or at least win favor with them the next time around.
Yeah.
So when did they buy the house they're in right now?
I think 5 years ago.
Okay. So in 5 more years, they're going to call you.
Yeah.
They're probably going to buy a bigger house. They're probably going to spend more money. And they're probably going to remember how you treated them, and the friendship's going to grow, and you're going to stay in touch with them. And in 5 years or 4 years or 6 years, they're going to call you next time. If you outwork the other party, and if you outwork the other party and don't get paid. I've heard stories where people have helped people before, and let's say a buyer and seller. There's always 2 parties to the transaction, right? It's a buyer and seller, and there's representation usually on both sides. Sellers buyers who have bought some of my assets in the past have called my company after the transaction and said, we just want to apologize for how our agent treated you and your team during that transaction. We heard several things that were said and done, and we weren't happy with that. And we just wanted to personally apologize and let you know that we will never be using those people again. Now, this is before I had a real estate company.
Right.
This was just, builder, seller, whatever.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Thanks. That means a lot, because they were total shitheads.
Yeah.
So I've also heard instances where people have gone back and said, it's not much, but here's an envelope. with some cash. You worked your ass off, and that other party didn't do anything. And we can't do much, but here's a gift from us to you. Right. You're great. We're telling everybody about you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you just never know how that's going to play out.
Which is really cool. Yesterday, actually, a big monumental, I hit the cycle yesterday, finally. So
I don't know what that is.
Well, I'm calling it the cycle, but I've done every single real estate transaction in my first year.
I love that you think you've done that, but that's fine. Go ahead.
I did my first commercial transaction yesterday.
I get it.
So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
in a broad brush commercial residential farm and ranch.
Yeah. Investor.
Yeah.
You know.
I get it.
Land by itself, you know, stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to sit across from my buyer. And then the seller was a big economic development council in our town.
Cool.
Who didn't have an agent. So,
nice.
But my buyer sitting across from the closing table, going, "Hey, where's your spot on here? I want to make sure you get taken care of." I said, "Seller's doing that."
Oh wow, cool.
So it was kind of cool for him to think in that way, and he and I never talked about commission. Yeah. So he knows I've got his back, and then also he's got some future business with me going forward.
So that's Jamey Whitley personal brand loyalty.
Right.
That's it. That's what you've done. You created loyalty with that party, right?
Right.
And it's going to reciprocate over and over and over and over. And you do that with people that you transact with, and you do that with people that you don't transact with. You just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
It's just goodwill. Yeah. You know, just what we talk about, leave a wake of goodwill behind you as you march through or plow through this ocean of life or whatever. So that's awesome. I love hearing those stories. I love it when, you know, there is market recognition of an independent agent or an independent business owner or stuff like that. But usually it's done in the quiet. It's done behind closed doors. It's rarely done in the public eye to where people are like, man, this guy, you know, that we do have reviews now on Google reviews, and we have Facebook shout outs, and we have those review programs where you're like, "Hey, Jill, can you send me a review?" And she's like, 5 stars, you know. But when someone really goes to bat for you in a private setting, at a dinner party, at a restaurant, at a bar, at church, at somewhere like that, where they're having dialogue with another party, and they're like, "Man, hey, this guy, it's the best I ever worked with. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's even new in the business, and he just knows everything. Like, he's with this company called 88 Realty, and those guys must be super smart because he knows everything, you know?" So, and that's street cred for us too, by the way. But that's the kind of stuff that you need and you want as a business person, a business owner, an operator, a manager, you know, an agent, a salesperson of any type. You just want to always have that, leave that taste in people's mouth that you are like sweet as honey and not going to do any wrong and trustworthy and honest and ethical. That's what builds brand.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there are some brands that are built on product, but they aren't sustained without the people pushing the product and behind the product, you know? But it's not all about the product. It's people too. And you got to have a good process in place.
Right.
So we feel like, you know, you mentioned 88 Realty and how we like to give and serve and then just do it all over again. We feel like we do that internally with all of you guys, you know, the team, and we're trying to build out things that are important to y'all. We're always listening. We're always trying to grow in those areas. I think I confessed a couple of weeks ago, or like, if you'd asked me 2 years ago where we'd be today, I'd said a whole lot further along. But I think the moves that we've made to do things the right way, instead of just chasing the deals, but trying to, okay, we're teeing this up. It's just taking a long time to get out of the cart and get on the tee box and put the tee in the ground. But it's teeing up. That's pretty exciting.
Right.
And then you have to have people, you know. We had a good product, the representation. We had a good process, the way we wanted everything to flow, but we didn't have any people in between there. Not agents. I'm not internally. The team was weak. You know, my organization where we manage things. But we've added to that exponentially this year. And we just added somebody yesterday. Somebody starts Monday. I've got 3 more positions I'm trying to fill. Now we talked about it earlier, they're singular positions. They're not like broad.
Yeah.
And we get those other parties in place, and we'll have an engine that will run, you know.
Right.
Can't have one bad spark plug. Can't have one valve that's not functioning right. And got to have fuel in the tank.
Yep.
And so it's exciting to see that and to watch you guys grow and do you and hear those stories that you, like what you just told me.
Yeah.
Edit the awkward pause.
So I know it was a really long, awkward pause. Like we even had to stop because it was so awkward.
It was such a long, awkward pause. But Stretch Armstrong's on the way.
Sweet.
We're going to have like the life and times of Stretch or something like that. Just kind of, he'll be my office pet. Oh, that's cool. Derek wants a dog. I'm like, no dogs. So we'll do a Stretch Armstrong. Anyway, kind of bounced around today a little bit, but it was good stuff. It was very encouraging to hear where you were at.
For sure.
And I know you got some deals you got to take care of. Your phone's down there blowing up. He's a busy guy. But it's always good to get together.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys again at Base Camp.
Base Camp. Thanks, everybody.